anything that I can compete in some way with someone, I'm gonna do it. So Lorianne and I are constantly in competition. I hate losing, I think, more than her when it comes to stuff off the track, where on the track, obviously, we both don't like losing. But yeah, whether it's eating my food the fastest or getting up the stairs the quickest, I want to beat her. So I'm probably annoying to live with, but that's okay. It works for us.
Welcome to the Canadian Cycling Magazine podcast. I'm Matthew Pioro. You just heard from Olympic gold medalist Kelsey Mitchell. She was talking about a particular competitiveness she has that goes well beyond the track. I spoke with Mitchell ahead of the Track Cycling Nations Cup Series, which is coming to Milton, Ontario on May 12th. At the year's first installment of the series in Glasgow, Mitchell won gold in the sprint. She, along with Lorianne Genet and Sarah Orban, took silver in the team sprint. I'm sure you're familiar with Mitchell's story. It's not only been documented in the pages of Canadian Cycling Magazine and on our website, but it's also retold at the start of a recent docuseries called Back on Track, which focuses on the athletes at the Champions League that ran in the fall of 2021. Mitchell got into track cycling a bit later than most elites. In 2017, at the age of 23, she attended an RBC Training Ground talent identification event. She churned out some serious watts on a bike, which, of course, caught the attention of Cycling Canada. About 4 years later, she won gold in the sprint at the Tokyo Olympics. So, Mitchell has made it, right? This is the top. Well, sort of. Mitchell is definitely not an up-and-comer anymore, but she says she still has more to learn. Right now, she seems to be beating people with her raw power. But imagine what happens when she matches that power with richer race tactics and experience. Before we get into where Mitchell is headed, we do look back at where she's been, starting at the Champions League, where a whole lot of cameras and microphones were aimed at the track star. Kelsey Mitchell, you are in a documentary series on GCN Plus called Back on Track. It features stories of track athletes as they compete in the UCI Track Champions League, which is a series that debuted last fall. How would you describe the UCI Track Champions League?
It was incredible. I mean, I guess you can kind of think of it as the F1 documentary on Netflix, but with a little less money and a little less car crashes and all that excitement. But it was amazing to be a part of. You know, the fans were incredible, the media, the interviews, the athletes, like everyone was wanting to win every single race. So the competition was good.
What was it like being part of a documentary that was being made as you were competing?
It was my first time being a part of a documentary, and then to be racing at the same time. It was, I guess, a little stressful having interviews before and after. But once you kind of got the hang of it and having the camera in your face or near you and a mic over your head so you're not saying anything inappropriate. But you get used to it. But initially it was a little awkward. But yeah, now the cameras, if they're on me, I'm acting normal, so it's perfect.
Would that kind of access by cameras and microphones and all that stuff, how would that have played out at, say, a competition like the Olympics? How would you have felt if there was a documentary crew, say, in Tokyo like that?
The Olympics is the biggest event of a lot of sports. It's the biggest event. All the money goes into it, all the effort, all the resources. That's where you go every 4 years to show the world how great you are at that sport and represent your country. And so I think there may be some information that's talked about that some countries wouldn't want other countries to know, strategy, tactics, equipment being used. I think the Champions League was very serious to an extent, but It was more of a relaxed environment where you're going out there to do your best and represent, but there wasn't millions of dollars and expectations put on you to go and perform and bring a medal home for your country, which is kind of what the Olympics is. So yeah, I don't know how well it would work with having a documentary done during the Olympics. But I think the Champions League gives you a pretty good idea of what kind of goes on in the background at the Olympics, but a little less intense and stressful environment.
Yeah, I wondered about that because I know athletes have a very dedicated plan, and 20 minutes before a race or an hour before a race, they don't need a lot of extra noise. They don't need anything extra because they're so focused. So yeah, that's sort of where that question comes from. Maybe it wouldn't be so great in Tokyo with a mic hanging over your head as you're warming up.
Yeah, I mean, there was, even warming up, there were some cameras around, and you get used to it, but initially you're just kind of like, I want to stretch and do my dynamic warm up just by myself and get in the zone. But thank goodness for noise canceling headphones that allow you to kind of get in your head and focus on what you got to do and kind of ignore the distractions. But I guess that's what you got to get used to as an athlete. And that's just one more thing that you mentally have to be ready for.
The UCI hopes the Champions League will make track cycling more popular. Do you think after its first season, it was able to move the needle one way or another?
I think the reach of the racing was greater than any other, besides the Olympics, but any other platform with Worlds or Nation Cups. More people seemed to have easier access to it. So if it's on the TV, you're going to watch it just flipping through channels and it's on. You're not going to have to go online and buy a membership to something and have access to races. So this just seemed more accessible to more people. And then talking to people back home who were watching it on TV, they were super into it. Like, not just because they know me and I'm racing, but they were getting to know the athletes and having their favorites and people that they want to see win and maybe not win. And yeah, so like having this documentary come out, I think showing a little bit more of the personality of each rider, you learn to love them and just find out where they came from. And so that aspect, along with the cameras and the lights, and it was like almost like a concert club feel. The crowd was incredible. It was so loud you could barely hear anything, and it was just, yeah, it was pretty unreal. I never experienced that obviously with any other sport, and I didn't know I would be experiencing it with track cycling, but I'm so grateful I was able to be a part of the first season, and I hope it just continues to grow the sport.
The UCI not only has the new Champions League, but it's been tinkering with the World Cup. Last year it became the Nations Cup. It now has a series with 3 stops. In contrast, the 2019-2020 World Cup season had 6 stops. The Nations Cup is in spring and summer instead of fall and winter. What do you think of these changes?
I like the 3, only having the 3 Nation Cups. Yeah, it might be a little less racing, but at each race people are bringing their best. They actually only take your best results from the Nation Cup, so you got to bring it at least once. And so each race that you do, it's going to have some of the best riders there, and they're going to be bringing their A game. And so I'm excited about that. And I don't know how I feel about having it in spring and summer, just because we used to be traveling around the world during the winter and would be in Australia or New Zealand in the sun. But now we're training away in the middle of January, but that's okay. We'll see how it all works out. But I think sports are meant to change and evolve, and I think that we'll find out this season if this change is for the better.
The last World Cup in Milton, Ontario, at your home court, if you will, at the Mattamy National Cycling Centre, it was in January 2020. The second installment of the Nations Cup will be in Milton from May 12th to 15th. How do you think this competition will be different for you compared with January 2020?
So January 2020 was the last World Cup to get points before the Olympics that were supposed to be in 2020. So there was a little bit of pressure to kind of get those points. And I had never raced in front of a home crowd with people from around the world coming. I'd only ever done nationals. And so I definitely felt the pressure. Like I wanted to perform. I knew my friends and family were there, and just having them in the crowd was such an amazing feeling, looking up and seeing them there. And I definitely felt the pressure, and I wanted to do well on my home track. We train there almost every single day, and like it's my track, and I want to do well on it. And so again, now May 12th, the pressure's there again. I know people are coming. I know the expectations are there. I know I'm the reigning Olympic champion, and I want to go and show Canada and I guess the rest of the world that you're coming to our track, and we're going to make it hard for you to walk away with with the gold medal. So yeah, I'm fired up. I'm excited. I honestly didn't know if I'd race at home again in my career. And so to know that everyone's coming back May 12th, and then we're actually probably going to host again the following year, I'm pumped. And that's definitely a focus for me.
We spoke earlier a bit about pre-race rituals. You sung the praises of noise-canceling headphones. But can you tell me more about the moments before a race? What are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you have any superstitions?
But on race day, I know what to expect now. I remember the first couple of races I'd be like, why do I have no appetite? Why do I feel sick? Why does my body not feel great? And then when I get on the line, all that would go away, and I'd be ready to go. And so I know I'm not going to feel great. I know I'm going to be stressed and nervous. So I'm going to carb load beforehand. And then on race day, I'm going to have my Pepto and Advil and applesauce ready to go. And I know how I'm going to feel. And I know I've done all the work, and on race day, I'm going to warm up. And once I'm warm, I'm ready to go. There's nothing else I can change to be more prepared for that moment. I've done everything I can. And so then it's just time to go out there and enjoy racing.
For this season, who are some of the riders you've got your eyes on? Who are riders that you watch out for?
Germany. Germany is definitely the country. They have 2-3 really strong riders. They are a powerhouse within the sprint community for track cycling and endurance actually as well. But yeah, they definitely are strong. You know what? Canada is strong as well. We have 4 really strong, fast riders here, and so we're going to be a threat across the board against the rest of the world. And so that's exciting, knowing that I'm training alongside some of the strongest. Lorianne I train with her every single day, and I know where she's at. I know where I'm at, and we pushed each other all through 2020 during COVID, not knowing where anyone else is, and we were able to show up at the Olympics. So I'm trusting that we'll keep pushing each other through the rest of our careers. Other than that, we haven't seen Australia in a bit. They have some new riders. I know New Zealand's got some strong ones as well. There's just, some people have retired. There's new people coming up. But yeah, I think the depth just keeps getting stronger and stronger on the women's side, men's as well. But there's now 20 women that are going 10-6, 10-5. And so it's getting more intense, and it's exciting. You want to compete against the best. So it should be good.
So for now, the main riders you're keeping an eye on are Emma Hinze, the winner of the Track Champions League and current world champ, and also her compatriot, Leah Sophie Friedrich. These are the people that, like I said, are the ones to watch?
Yeah, that's correct. They've beaten me at Worlds and beat me at the Champions League, and so I'm ready to beat them.
Nice. And you mentioned strong Canadian riders. Tell me some more about these riders that we should be watching out for. Most of us are, of course, familiar with you and your training partner, Lorianne Genet. But who else should we make note of?
Yeah, so we also have Jackie Boyle and Sarah Orban. Sarah started at the same time I did and went through RBC training grounds as well. And then Jackie went through the program a year later. Yeah, they're strong, they're fast, they're great. They they've got some great speed, and seeing them improve every single day, it's awesome to see. Like I went through what they went through, and so it's awesome to know their struggles and see them come through on the other side. And it's yeah, we got four strong girls. We're all going fast, and it's amazing to have people to train with people that can push you every single day. You know, Jackie is putting out some crazy max power. Sarah's so strong in the gym. Lowe's leg speed is incredible, and I'm just trying to catch up with all of them. And so it's awesome to have them pushing me every single day.
I'd like to now go back to last summer and the Olympics. After you won gold in the sprint, it was great. There was a ton of attention. Was there anything after Tokyo that surprised you or you didn't expect?
I mean, I guess I obviously went into Tokyo wanting to come home with a medal and hoping it could be a gold medal, but to actually go and do it, I had no idea what to expect afterwards. You definitely ride that high, but I was very ready to come back and get back training. And a lot of people had hinted that you kind of be at a low after the Olympics, and you'll need some time to just have time for yourself and appreciate how far you've come and your accomplishments, and then get back into it. But kind of surprised myself, and I was craving my routine. I was craving training. I wanted to get back and get stronger and just keep improving. Like I love what I get to do every single day, and so I was ready to get back at it. So that was kind of surprising. And what's also very surprising for me is how quickly I lost my fitness after the Olympics. I took 2 weeks off at home just to be with family and friends and do all the media and all that fun stuff. And when I came back, I was a little out of shape. And so had to get back at it. Wasn't fully prepared for Worlds that year, but that was kind of expected and was the plan. So walking away with the bronze there, I was happy, but you now have a little bit of a target on my back. I won the Olympics, and people want to beat me, and so I want to make it hard for them.
At the World Championships in Roubaix, as you mentioned, where you took bronze, you were competing against your training partner, your friend, Lauriane Genet. And that's not the first time you guys have gone head-to-head. I think it was the quarterfinals at the Olympics that also you were racing against each other. What is that like to race against a friend for such high-stakes events?
Yeah, it's funny because we train together a lot, but we don't race each other in training. We'll do some mock training, but we'll race against our coach on an e-bike or some of the junior guys, but we don't race each other. And that's just, I guess, a mental thing that works for us. And our plan was to race against each other for gold. So unfortunately, at the Olympics, we saw each other a little bit sooner than that. Raced against her, in quarterfinals, and it's tough to explain. It's a weird thing because she's one of my best friends. We live together, we train together, we're together all the time. I know her strengths, I know her weaknesses, she knows mine, and it's a mental battle as much as it is a physical battle. But at the end of the day, win or lose, we're happy for each other. It's a very special relationship that we have, and I'm very thankful for it. But yeah, having to race her when it's not for the gold medal is never ideal. But we saw each other again racing for bronze at Worlds. We're friends before the line. We get on the line, and the best one's winning that day, and we're gonna make it really hard for each other. So yeah, it's a very great relationship and great balance that we have.
As we mentioned, you're in a docuseries. Your boyfriend, track rider Hugo Barrett, has also been in a series recently, Big Brother Celebrité. It's a competition of sorts. What did you think of that?
Yeah, he had mentioned something about it back in November, and just kind of as a joke, he said he got an email, or I'm not quite sure how they contacted him, and he'd mentioned it to me and Lauriane, and we're like, oh, wow, do it. And he's like, what? We're like, there's no other downtime really in the season. Like, this could be such a cool opportunity, like a little change up from, he's been in the cycling world for 12 plus years. And so it would just be something different, a different kind of challenge So yeah, he went on it, and he was killing it. He killed it, made it all the way to the end. It's weird. It's all in French, so I mean, I understand maybe 5% of it, and then I have Lorianne watching with me, and she'll kind of explain what's going on. But yeah, it's reality shows are kind of a bizarre thing. It's almost like a experiment, a human experiment. It's bizarre, but I don't know if I could ever do it, but I'm very proud of him for stepping outside his comfort zone and going on this.
Recently, you posted a clip of you riding a kilo effort on the track. Now, the kilo is a men's discipline, while the women do a 500-meter TT. What did riding a kilo effort show you?
Well, it showed me how hard riding a kilo is, but I think women should do the kilo. I don't know if I have much of a right saying that, since I've never actually raced the 500 meter in races, but the team sprint is now equal across the board, and so why not have everyone doing the kilo as well? I kind of did it as a joke or a bet, because we were supposed to just do 750 meter efforts. One of my teammates challenged me to do a kilo, and I'm not going to back down from a challenge, and so did the kilo, and I never realized how much I could fade in 4 laps. So that was a good learning experience.
And I understand that the plan is that you will be taking on the 500-meter TT, possibly in Milton?
That's the plan. That's the goal. The last time I did 500 meter in competition was Nationals 2019. So it's been some time. I don't train it all that often, but I'm very determined to go and do it and do well. I think it's the perfect distance for me, besides the kilo, obviously. But I think I could do well in the 500. So we'll see if I get to do it in Milton.
So what's your relationship with other types of cycling, whether it's road, commuting, I don't know, BMX, mountain biking?
Very little. I have very little experience with other cycling disciplines. We do a bit of road riding, but probably like an hour and at 100 watts, where the roadies are absolutely crazy and do 4 or 5 hours plus, holding a lot more watts than that. So I wouldn't consider myself a road cyclist at all. I do enjoy it, but my specialty is definitely on the track. We actually did a little fat biking day with the track sprinters, and that was a very humbling experience. And I realized how little skill I have on a bike when I'm not on a smooth banked track. So I'm probably going to stick with the simple go as fast as you possibly can and turn left, because I love it and I am not bad at it, versus trying to go up and down steep cliff rock things and falling over a million times. It was fun, but I'm just not good at it.
On the note of bike skills and techniques, are there any track-related ones that you've been working on or looking to hone or polish?
Yeah, I mean, joining this sport a little late. I skipped a lot of the basic skills that you kind of learn growing up with the sport. So I'll see kids track standing with no hands, and I can't track stand. I can ride slowly on the track, and that's about it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to learn. I've tried it a bit, but the fear of falling and somehow landing weird, knowing me breaking a collarbone or something, that's what would happen. So still can't track stand. Even doing roller spin-ups, I'm a little uneasy. It's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. Like, most kids are way better at bike handling than I am, but it's a good reminder that I still have a lot to learn.
I wonder if that's the old, when you learn a thing as a kid and you don't understand fear or consequences, that your skills progress. And then, like you said, you came at it a bit later. So I'm sure it'll come.
Yeah, we'll see. I have time, right?
There you go. Lots of time. About 2 years ago, you wrote an article. You corrected the idea that many people held that you were an overnight success. You said that's not the case. You've been active in sport most of your life. Are there any other misconceptions about you that might need correcting?
I know there was an article a little while back where I was referred to as Quadzilla, And as nice as that compliment is, I probably have the smallest quads on the team. Lorianne has called me chicken legs in the past, and it still hurts. But yeah, I think there's that one. But I appreciate all the hype around my quads because they are downplayed standing next to the girls on the team. So there's that one. I guess, yeah, it would be, I guess, kind of quad related as well. As in the gym, I'm the weakest one, which is upsetting because I try so hard and these girls are so strong. They can squat so much and I'm just trying so hard just to keep up with them. But yeah, I'm working at it still.
Is it friendly competition in the gym, on the track, anywhere else? Chugging contests?
Oh, everything. Literally anything that I can compete in some way with someone, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, as healthy or unhealthy as that is, it just works. Lorianne and I are constantly in competition. I hate losing, I think, more than her when it comes to stuff off the track, where on the track, obviously, we both don't like losing. But yeah, whether it's eating my food the fastest or getting up the stairs the quickest, I want to beat her. So I'm probably annoying to live with, but that's okay. It works for us.
In the December-January issue of Canadian Cycling Magazine, you told writer Tara Nolan that, quote, "It's super exciting knowing I haven't hit my best or the ceiling," end quote. What tells you that? What tells you that there's still room to grow and improve?
I'm not new to the sport anymore. I've been doing it for years now, but I still feel I have so much to learn tactically on the bike, technically as a bike rider. I could physically be at my peak, and hopefully I can hold on to this for a few more years. But mentally, I think I still have a lot to learn and grow as an athlete. I'm still figuring out my nutrition, what I need, what works best for me, figuring out my leg speed and my just how to be more efficient on the bike. And so there's so many little things that, yeah, I might be able to put out good power and do a fast 200-meter time, but you don't win a race with the best 200 meters. You win a race by executing your strengths and just showing up that day and being the best. And I think at the Olympics, I won the match sprint, but I think I won the match sprint based on being stronger than the other athletes. I didn't win it based on being a better racer tactically and technically. So as people keep getting stronger and faster, I plan to progress as well, but I also want to bring up my level of tactics on the bike, and I want to be able to win when I'm in the front, win when I'm in the back. And yeah, I just think I can grow so much more every race that I do. So I'm still learning, and the Champions League actually was such a great opportunity for me because I wasn't at my peak physically. It was a lot of racing back to back, and I used to be able to go into the front and hold on to that speed, but I was tired, and so I had to try and figure out different ways to win, and whether that was drafting or trying to keep the race slow. I was just figuring it out every round, and so yeah, I think I can still get better.
What's next for you this year after the Nations Cup in Milton?
After Milton, we will have, hopefully, Pan Am Champs in June. And then end of July is Commonwealth Games, which is a big one. And then Worlds in October after that.
Well, Kelsey, thank you for your time today. And it's always great talking with you. And yeah, good luck. Good luck at the races.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. And I appreciate all the support.
And that's the episode. It's written and edited by me, Matthew Piero. I had help from web editors Matt Hansen and Terry McCall. This episode of the Canadian Cycling Magazine podcast is produced by Adam Killick. He composed the music too. Thanks to Ontario Creates for its support. And thank you for listening. Please rate and review the show, ride safely, and I'll talk to you later.